What's up, it's the Coaster Craze, and for my final video covering the 2020 Six Flags announcement made earlier today, I'll be analyzing all of the non-major coasters. So that's all the rides except for Jersey Devil, which I did a separate analysis of, but that's the only custom coaster coming to a Six Flags park next year. So let's get right on with it, starting with Six Flags Over Georgia, who will be getting Catwoman Whip and Poison Ivy Toxic Twister, which are a Zamperla Endeavor and a Scrambler ride. So this is very unfortunate for a lot of people because personally I and many others expected them to get a 40 free spin, which would have been a very solid addition, but no park actually got free spin next year, which makes me very upset because I would have been great to see a good coaster like that come to the park. It would have been a really great addition, and these are still solid additions, but it's just really like a Scrambler. They didn't have one already. That's kind of a problem, so I guess it's good they're filling that gap, and the Zamperla Endeavors look good and all, but it's just not the best edition. Hopefully 2021 is better because I feel like this park, I wouldn't say that they got slighted since they just got Twisted Cyclone in 2018, but I did expect bigger things from them. On the other hand, a year after getting Max Force, Six Flags Great America is getting a fabulous addition with the tallest water coaster in the world, Tsunami Surge, 86 feet tall. That is pretty massive for a water coaster, 28 miles per hour, 5 of those helix type maneuvers, 5 drops, 3 uphills, like launched uphills. Looks fabulous. Good length track, almost 1,000 feet long. Plus, it has this cool lighting in this one part of the ride. This is going to be an excellent addition to their already fabulous water park, and I'm really glad for Great America to see such awesome growth. We all knew this was coming, but Six Flags Over Texas is getting a Mack Power Splash, the first one in the US. I think that's pretty awesome. No, it's not going to be an insane ride or anything, but it looks like a really fun water coaster. It's pretty large, goes 63 miles per hour, 148 feet tall, vertical drops. That's pretty awesome. It has a backward launch and a forward launch, then like another backward launch, then it goes into that big splash at the end, so you get a little bit of a nice launch shuttle coaster along with getting very wet. And it's great that they're getting a water ride to replace the old Aquaman ride, which was a Shoot the Chutes ride, with it also being a coaster, so it's like 2 in 1. I think that's pretty awesome. And yes, it kind of sucks that they won't be getting a big new coaster probably for a while because this counts, even though it's not that massive and awesome, but it's still a really solid addition, and it still looks like a very fun ride. Perhaps the biggest surprise of Six Flags announcements were 2 parks that are getting these skyscraper attractions. The first is the Great Escape with Outlaw, which I really love the Great Escape, how they don't have the DC licensing, so they have more unique themes, and this looks really great. I know the park is a great appearance, and this entry queue just looks awesome, the animation at least. And the other park is St. Louis, which is getting Catwoman Whip. And I think that's really awesome. Both these are getting it. They're pretty massive attractions, like 160 feet tall, 50 miles per hour. I think the St. Louis one is slightly larger than the Great Escape one, which makes sense. But these are going to be some of the largest attractions in each of the parks, the largest in Great Escape. And I think it's really cool that Six Flags is expanding their options. This is a higher capacity version of what is usually an upcharge attraction at many boardwalks across America. So I think it's going to be really cool to see these really high thrilling attractions added to major regional amusement parks. Very happy with Six Flags for adding some very good additions to some of their smaller parks. Six Flags will be getting 2 Zamperla Discoveries next year, one going to Six Flags Mexico and the other going to Six Flags America. And I assume both of these would be the giant Discoveries, the 150 foot tall models. But to my surprise, the Mexico one's actually going to be a Giga Discovery, which ties the record for the tallest in the world with the ones at Magic Mountain, Great Adventure, and Fiesta, Texas. It's going to be a massive addition. That's a really excellent thrill ride. Mexico's been getting a lot of great attractions in recent years, and it's great to see that park being beefed up a bit. And I'm really excited for my home park, Six Flags America, to get the giant Discovery model. I've heard they're amazing flat rides. I haven't been on one yet, but I'm excited to ride a bunch next year. And I know it will really help just improve their flat ride collection, which is a bit lacking. Green Lantern is, from what I've heard, a very bad roller coaster, so it did not fit at Six Flags Magic Mountain. And when they announced its closure earlier this year, the rumor was that it was going to be relocated to LaRonde, and that proved true. And LaRonde's not a very good park, so I guess it fits there. I don't really know if it will help their coaster collection, but it's replacing Super Manage, which was apparently a really bad Vekoma looping coaster. So this might actually be an improvement. I'm not really sure, but it's good to see them at least replacing a coaster and getting a new coaster, even if it's a relocation. Six Flags New England was one of those parks in question. Lots of people thought they'd be getting a big new, maybe launch coaster, but I didn't really see that happening. I thought maybe it would be a water slide or a Zamperla Endeavor. and that's what they're ending up with, which is not a bad ride at all, but it really seemed like the park deserved something big, and hopefully that comes in 2021 because this was a big letdown. We knew Six Flags Fiesta Texas would be getting a very rare ride, and it would be kind of like a steampunk theme, and I thought that was really cool, and lots of people, including myself, thought it would be a Zamperla Nebulas because it kind of looks like clockwork as seen the one that went to Coney Island, but it's actually a much more thrilling ride. Basically a second generation Zamperla air race model, so it's going to be the tallest air race around because the second generation actually like raises up as opposed to the old model, and it looks really cool. It looks like it'll be a really nice ride. The presentation of it just looks very visually appealing, and it's great to see Fiesta Texas always trying out new rides for the chain, really being the great guinea pig that the park is. Six Flags Discovery Kingdom is always that park where you're like, oh, they just got a coaster last year, they got a big ride, they're just gonna get something small, but nope. They just keep on getting coasters. If you count the Skywarp they've gotten a coaster 4 out of the 5 last years. That is insane. Most of them have been pretty cheap and not that great, including this one, but it's still a really good addition because they do not have a good family coaster collection. Plus, the attraction is opening up with a new reptile exhibit, which is awesome, really benefiting from Discovery Kingdom having animals. And these are pretty fun rides. I have one in my home park, and luckily that's not being relocated here. This is a new ride. It's kind of surprising to see Six Flags purchasing one, because they haven't gotten a new family coaster at a Six Flags park in what feels like a very long time, and they haven't gotten one of these models since the original Raging Cajun opened up at Six Flags Great America all the way back in 2004. Very surprising, but if I was a Discovery Kingdom fan, I'd be very, very happy with this addition. I'm very happy to see that Six Flags really cares about continuing to build up the great water park that Six Flags Darien Lake has. And this looks like an awesome new slide that's like the Typhoon Twister that went to Six Flags St. Louis a couple years ago. Has one of those bowls, the half pipe, just looks like a fun slide, a good length, and it'll be a very great fit for the park. Hopefully they get something really big in the Drive Park next year. In addition to the previous 12 parks plus Great Adventure getting new rides next year, Six Flags also owns a bunch of separately gated water parks that will be getting a lot of new water slides or splash areas that look very nice. I'm not going to cover in this video. Also, very important of note is that Six Flags owns 2 other theme parks, Magic Mountain, which is their flagship, and Frontier City. So Magic Mountain is most likely going to get something new in 2020. They're just waiting to announce it after West Coast Racers open because they don't want to distract from that ride. It's been delayed a lot, and it's their big new coaster for the 2019 season. While Frontier City, it looks like they might not be getting anything next year, which is very unfortunate to see. So thank you guys for watching my analysis of all the new rides coming to Six Flags parks in 2020. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe for more awesome coaster videos from the Coaster Craze. Signing off. Goodbye.